got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
Born and raised in South Bay, lower class punk ass, I was Northwood grade. I had it made. Spent my nights drinking with my mates. Just a short bus ride up to PA. Red River Red. Then I hit the wall and I knew I had to bounce. They still say that 19 years ago, and I got the hell out. From time to time you may see me hanging around. Now I feel like a stranger in this town. Crossing roads is where I learned to play. Westwood Tavern's where I learned to walk away.
Hey, this is Mike. This is Ego and Vice, and this is the continuing series 1 year later. This time on the 1 year later series, we have a band that was originally on the podcast, episode 115, way back in October 23. Okay, the 1 year is kind of loose. It's loose, but you know what? I really wanted to check in on Class of 91 and see how they were doing. Ian and Brock ended up coming by Southwood Studio, and we had an in-depth, very deep conversation. All things Class of 91. We're going to play a song from the band. It's called Broken Window. When we come back, we have Brock and we have Ian. This is Ego and Vice. This is the 1 year later series. This is Class of 91.
I'm a shadow on you, star.
Hey, welcome back. This is Ego and Vice. This is the 1 Year Later series. Technically, this is the soft relaunch of the 1 Year Later series, since I've actually had a couple bands on. But then I did the big announcement of the 1 Year Later series. So this is the official #1 episode of the 1 Year Later series. And I'm very excited to have a band back in Southwood Studio. The new Shiny Digs that is Southwood Studio. Was a band that was on probably about a year and a half ago, give or take. We don't count months anymore. The class of 91 is in the house. Ian, Brock, welcome back.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun the first time you guys came out. Fred didn't make it, and he didn't make it this time. Is it me? Is it me?
Not at all. No,
Okay.
no rhythm section tonight, just front of house.
Yeah, and I was also looking forward to seeing Speed Round Steve, but
He sends his regrets as well.
That's right. I did meet Fred. Was that at Saw, I think? Yeah, so we actually met. So, and he seemed very nice, so I don't think it's me. Yeah, but maybe it's him. So how have you guys been? What's been what's going on?
Oh, not much. No, things have been good. Yeah, we have a new album coming out next Friday, which is very exciting. And yeah.
That's huge, though. You know what I mean? Like the reason I started the 1 Year Later series is because I was interested to see the progression of bands, and some of the bands I've had on, I can't really find them anymore. So the ones that stick around that have the longevity, it's very interesting to see inside like a local kind of construct, I guess, how they continue on, how they do, what's been going on, that type of stuff. So went back through did my crack Ego and Vice research, and since you've left the first episode way back when, you've done a ton of shows: Toronto, Montreal, Ottawa, Hamilton, Guelph, Brantford. Lots of like a tour. You did a tour, or are these all individual shots, or what? How did that go down?
Yeah, some of them are one-offs. Other ones we've tried to like do kind of like just do like a little like weekend blitz there. So we you referenced Hamilton, Guelph, and Brantford as an example. Yeah, we did like that as a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. Little micro tours, I think we called it at the time. Yeah. So we do try to fit things in as best as our schedules will permit.
For sure.
And scheduling shows is becoming trickier and trickier. That we're finding there too. That the sort of the window to book is becoming longer.
Yeah, that's
longer
right.
and longer.
That's
so.
right.
But yeah, no, it's been fun. We got down to Kingston back in May. Yeah. Yeah, so we try to nip into places where we can, and
that's great.
Yeah.
I think that's a true test of a band. Is how were the car rides? You guys made it all in one piece? Nobody strangled each other?
No,
pull over and
we're
old and docile, so it's,
yeah, exactly.
Everyone's nodding off.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's good.
Yeah.
You've released new music coming up, which we're gonna get to. But because this is the 1 Year Later series, and we know about the origins of Class of 91, and if you don't, you can go back and listen to episode 115 and hear all about the origins of Class of 91. But let's stick to the new format, 1 year later, approximately. I'm going to ask you some questions just regarding what's been going on. Maybe you'll have some insight of what we were talking about earlier. So the first question to Ian and Brock from Class of 91. Are you where you thought you would be since the last time you were here, or a year ago?
So an interesting question. Maybe I'll tackle this one, Ian.
Please do.
I don't know if we knew where we thought we would be. However, we've gotten into this routine now as a band to finish every year by considering what we're going to do the next year. So if that's the metric we use, this year we wanted to put out an album. We wanted it to be on vinyl. We wanted to play Kingston, and we've achieved all those marks. And we're just sitting down now to talk about what 2026 looks like. So I'd say yes, we're exactly where we are meant to be, whether we thought we were going to be there or not.
Right. And those are all achievable goals, but great goals, right? Let's make an album. Let's get some vinyl. I think the greatest thing for a band that they can do at the end of the year is still be a band.
Yep.
So as long as you beat that hurdle, all the rest is like, gravy, I guess they say.
Yeah.
What's your take on that, Ian?
No, I would totally agree with that. I mean, I think we talked last time we were in. I mean, Class 91 is very much a passion project for us. It's an opportunity, again, to keep experimenting with, with making music, writing, and, in an ever evolving way. It's social. I mean, these things sound maybe like a little bit simple or trivial, but like every Tuesday is rehearsal night, and we look forward to that. That's a marker in the week. Organizing shows, connecting with bands that we've played with before, connecting with new artists that we haven't had the opportunity to play with before. Like these are all things that we just take a lot of joy and a lot of pleasure in doing. It's not like the record company's breathing down our neck, because we are our own record company, if you want to.
Nice, right?
So there is sort of a nice, sort of a vibe about being able to sort of self-control what it is that you want to achieve and set those markers, like Brock said, and try to hit them off.
It's awesome. Well, congratulations. You're still giving her.
Yep.
And that's the main
Keep
thing.
going as long as humanly possible.
Till the wheels come off.
Pretty
right?
much.
I know. I have the same. I have the
I
same.
don't even think those are
mindset.
band wheels. I think those are probably just like,
Yeah, right. Next question, kind of in line with what you were talking about, is what was the biggest obstacle you faced as a band so far in the career of Class of 91?
Obstacle, yeah. So I think if we wanted to look at obstacles that have maybe hit, it's less kind of band related stuff and maybe more life related things, right? That throw in roadblocks and maybe sort of force you to sort of either take a pause or to detour. Like I can't even recall in the history of Class of 91 like us sort of sitting down and having two opinions over here and two like wildly divergent opinions over here that have caused a bit of an impasse. Like again, I think our relationships are strong enough that we can have constructive conversations about stuff. But I think personally, it's when sort of life events may inject themselves into the mix, which kind of
and which will affect the band or which can affect the band in
Yeah.
some way when it comes to scheduling, timing, just emotional stuff where your head's not in it, type of thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would have said just the day-to-day grind of getting the calendars to align. But
Yeah.
Tuesdays are sacrosanct. We rehearse every Tuesday. And then we maintain a calendar, which can be challenging at times. But, we're growing up. I was smirking there a little bit because I think for us, there's less ego, perhaps more vice.
Well, that's the way it goes.
But with I think we've got our egos in check as, four guys that are just, like Ian said, trying to get together to exercise a passion project.
Yeah.
So it is just the logistics.
Speaking from a kind of the same platform where it's like when you're a kid, everything's dramatic and crazy and things can get out of hand with maybe egos, maybe just the whole thing. I in my band, being an older band too, we're all just kind of level-headed. We know what this is. We know what we want. We know what we're doing. Nothing's going to like veer us off that path. As it can, in some bands. So I foresee, I think that's why once you reach a certain point, that's why some of the bands just stay together forever, right?
Yep.
Because they just know what they're doing. It's
Yep.
like, we know what this is, we know what we want, and we know what we're doing. So
Yeah.
good on you, man.
No, thanks. Yeah, and I think when everyone's on the same page there too, and is tapping into that well of
Totally.
no, it's not just like musical experience; it's just life experience as well,
Yeah.
right? Like how to navigate speed bumps when they come along and have like mature conversations about things. And
I should say, just to protect myself, I ain't shitting on the young people. They might have it all figured out. I've met some really down to earth, great people that are younger in bands that may be together forever. I'm just generalizing and speaking from my vantage point. How about that? Next question. What do you feel has been your greatest success so far in Class of 91?
Sorry, we're not having these dramatic pauses. These are like they're interesting questions to consider. I think if you want to pinpoint things to the current day, I think vinyl is a big achievement for us. I know that's something that we've we've been talking about quite a bit through the making of our forthcoming album there, and I know it's something that's very near and dear to Brock's heart as a lover of vinyl.
I love her vinyl, and I call it my like I'm living my best 20-year-old life. It just took me 30 years to get there, and this is the manifestation of something I would have liked to have done in 1991.
Yeah.
So that to me is a long-term success.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
It certainly wasn't our goal articulated early on, or
Nope.
even last time we talked.
Sure.
So it's a newer success.
Yeah.
But I think it's it's changed the conversation about what we're putting out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a different level of interest in what we're doing now, and I think that's being able to exist as a bunch of 50-year-olds in the Ottawa scene is amazing in and of itself. But now there's the vinyl as a metric of success has changed the conversation. I think there's a little bit more interest.
Yeah. It is funny because I think last time we were here, we were talking a little bit about Steve and I used to play together when we were younger, and there were actual tangible artifacts of that time as well, dubbing cassettes was kind of like the big thing. There used to be a place in Bell's Corners, the names escape my mind, but you can get like batches of cassettes done up there, and that was sort of the thing that you would hand out at a show, and you would only be able to get a cassette if you were at that one show. You couldn't find it anywhere else. There was no internet. There was no but when we got the shipment of vinyl in for this,
It's done. You have it in hand now.
Yep.
Okay. It's
yeah,
real.
It is real, right? So, and that's I've never had that
Still
experience.
shrink wrapped.
Oh yeah.
Haven't even opened it yet.
Yeah, so we're gonna crack it open on Friday evening and take it a listen there. But
Right.
but that's an experience I've never had. Like I've never had anything in that format before. So
That's a big one for musicians. Like I've never had vinyl in anything I've ever done. It's always been CD tapes. And when I did my first CD, because that was the main format of everything, that was kind of like a moment too, right? But vinyl would be big. I just talked to Sarah from Wet for Days. They just released their new self-titled album, and that's her first vinyl.
Yeah.
And because I just sent her a message. I said, "Where'd you get your vinyl?" And blah blah blah, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then we started talking about how she said it was an investment. It was a little bit more than I thought it was going to be, but in the end, I have it. It's in my hands. It's real. It's a real thing, and I'm envious. I might do it. I want to do it, but
that's a great album too. If Wet for Days is listening for this, well played.
yeah, absolutely. Well, Sarah's the real deal. She's just this really genuine punk rock. She's the mom rockers, or whatever they call themselves, mom punks or mom band or whatever. And she just writes really good, gritty, fun, danceable punk rock songs.
Yep.
You know, it's very retro, kind of throwback soundy. It's just it's great. I love Sarah. She's the best. So congratulations on the vinyl, though. That must be a big thing. I'll never know.
Yeah, or maybe you will.
Yeah,
we did. If you talked to last time we were here, that wasn't even on the radar, and then it became on the radar.
Well, I'm super happy that you brought me a copy. And no, I'm just kidding. What's the guy got to do around here to get a little vinyl?
Come to the album release show on the 18th.
That's right. To break off the questions a little bit, since you've been here too from the last time, going off your previous albums, there was 2020's Eyes on Fire. Then there was 2022 Lost Stories, and I think that was around the time, maybe a little bit after that, where you guys came in.
Yep.
Since then, November 17th, you released the single Broken Window. March 4th, 2024, you released Burn Down. And just recently, a couple days ago, Over Now. Is that off? That must be off the new record?
Yeah, so all three of those are actually on the new record.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a story behind sort of the gap in time there between the other two. But so Over Now is the most recent pre-release single, and it's a 10-song album in its entirety there.
Cool. So the album itself is going to be officially released at the official show.
So it releases on the 17th.
The 17th, the day before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and then the show is on the 18th.
Okay. Because I guess like record releases, if you do it right in that time, I know some people will release it and then do the record or before and after, but it's like good timing. Well planned. Well planned, sirs. So. 2023 you released Broken Window, and the record's coming out in 2025. How is the process, like the 2-year process of putting this thing together? Like singles nowadays, you just bang, 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 release them and everything's great. Was it hard to sit on all this music for so long?
So the short answer is no, because the more nuanced answer is that we weren't really sitting on all of it for a period of time. Typically, the way that I've currently sort of gotten into my writing style is that I'll sort of like almost kind of like word cloud out like different types of things that I might want to tackle in music. So different thematic things or just different ideas or different life experiences maybe that I think could provide an interesting backbone for a song, and just sort of like have that on a page and sort of like just chip away at it with time. So with that, Broken Window and Burn Down were actually written and recorded at the same time. We just made the decision to sort of like release them at different times. Now, having said that, they were also sort of the first two songs that materialized off of something that was going to be a longer release. Then there were some life events that kind of got in the middle of that, which sort of knocked off the ability to not just write the music, but to be able to like workshop it, as a band and put it together in a way. So there was a bit of a gap that got sort of injected into all of that. Now, looking at a silver lining of that, though, I think some of the, sort of reflecting on some of those experiences, and there were some other things that were kind of happening off in different corners of our lives. That sort of recalibrated some of the initial ideas that were put on paper, and actually kind of maybe put things in a slightly different trajectory for some of the topics and some of the moods or things that we wanted to capture on that. So yeah, so it seems like there's a bit of a weird like gap in there. Maybe it is a bit of a strange way to sort of approach an album by having like, two songs that are almost like one of them's almost like 2 years before or whatever. But I think when we sort of package them all up together, it all kind of
tells a story.
It does tell a little bit of a story. Now, the other interesting trajectory as well is that this is the first time that we have recorded in a studio live off the floor. You have a question?
Well, I was just going to interject. The first time you guys did your own stuff, but the pictures that I'm seeing now, you're at Little Bullhorn with Dave Draves.
Yeah.
Legendary Ottawa producer.
Absolutely.
How has that process been? Has it changed the process at all, or from sitting in the basement and doing it yourself?
Well, yeah. I mean, first of all, Dave is a friend, which is so the familiarity and his studio is just so welcoming. But as far as process go, it changed the process completely. I mean, we would be in our own studio, laying down one track at a time. Drums would go in on a click track, bass would come in, I'd come in on the rhythms, Ian would come in on the leads, and then we'd do all the overdubs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you're playing it through the headphones, and you're trying to find your space in something that is now rigid, if you will. But coming off the floor at Dave's, there's an energy that exists that can't exist easily when you're doing tracks. So that whole process was different and new. And one of the words we used in some of the songs, especially the last one, was it was frenetic. It was like the pace was at the edge of control. If it had gone any faster, or if we were any less rehearsed for it, it would not have worked. And that doesn't happen with a track lay.
Did you do any analog out of there?
So that was the other nice experience that again, which is a first for us, was that we were working off all this really, really nice old analog vintage equipment, right? Like
the
big
buttons, the little button machine.
Really, really nice API console, like lots of nice like 1176 compressors and all sorts of different stuff like that. And we recorded to tape, which again, like Burn Down and Broken Window, when we recorded that, we did it through the old format, so it's digital.
Cool.
So having that analog piece there was interesting, right? Because it does kind of like inject there's a darkness and a bit of a like kind of a lo-fi element to it. Like even like in some songs you can hear like just different pieces of equipment like crackling and like so it's like it's just got this kind of a real kind of a raw feeling. So when we did 2 sessions at Bullhorn. We did one in December. We went back in June. So June, we had 3 new songs that we had written sort of in the interim. So one of them came off the back of a noise that he made when we were in there in December. I'm like, ooh, that needs to be revisited. Mm-hmm. Brock had penned a composition that we put into the mix there too, which was that was probably the closest to actually kind of building the airplane while you're flying it type of approach. Because normally, like we've either road tested stuff or we're pretty comfortable. We're not really a band that goes into the studio and writes songs. That's just not really the approach of the format that we typically take.
I get that. Yeah.
But this was a case where it was a little bit off script for us, and it was interesting. Like we had laid down maybe 4 or 5 takes of the song, and they all were good. But Dave was like, I have just enough tape left to do one more take of this song, but we have to nail it or we're going to run out. And where that frenetic energy comes into was literally is like, okay. And that's the one that actually landed on the
Never
album.
know,
So,
right?
yep.
Yeah.
So,
work better under pressure. Tape is running out.
Yeah.
Coming from doing your own self recording and stuff like that, when a band does that, they basically produce themselves. You go to a studio. Did Dave produce your record, or did he engineer it and you guys still basically?
Yeah. So we did a bit of there were some production injects there at the board at the time of recording, but Dave was pretty much the engineer. We ended up still mixing it in the box. There's a few layers that we added post, a couple things that we'd recorded that wasn't quite sitting right when I kind of listened back to it. So I did some additional work there, but for the most part, it was all a pretty collaborative effort.
Yeah.
But the one interesting element to that was that because we had done 2 songs previously ourselves, had 8 more that we'd done at Bullhorn, digital, analog. Were they going to mesh? And I think we were able to kind of pull it off in a way that we were comfortable with because of our collaboration with Christian Montano from Montana Mastering down in Toronto.
Right.
Because he's done, he did Lost Stories, he did Burn Down, he did Broken Window, and he did All Guesses Past Off His Hope. So he was able to take his initial 2 and make it into a seamless.
So the only way to know is that
we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe someone else would
Nobody
go,
else.
oh, that kind of sounds a little bit, a little bit different, but you'd sure.
Yeah, but we don't like those people. So it's like, those are the guys that,
And they're entitled to that opinion.
I suppose. Anyway, awesome. What's the new record called?
So it's called All Guesses Past Off As Hope.
All Guesses Past Off as Hope. Released October 17th, 2025 by Class of 91. Can we play a song? Should we play Over Now since it's the brand new single?
Let's do it.
All right, off the brand new record. This is Over Now. This is Class of 91. This is Ego and Vice, the 1 Year Later series.
All
Okay, we're back. Couple more questions for you, actually. What's the most important lesson you have learned since being in class of 91?
As a result of being in
I
class
suppose
91,
so.
or
I think we're sticking towards the band theme.
because a lot has happened in 7 years.
Well, how about this? Since the last time you were on, we'll try to narrow it down a little.
And as a result of the band.
Sure.
Um,
You're smarter than I am, so I'll let you answer that question.
well, I mean, one of the things we're going to get philosophical. One of the things I've learned to understand, and we joked about this just before the start of the going live here, Mike, was we all get 24 hours in a day. That's it. You can beg and plead all you want. You're not going to get any more.
I'm trying.
And you become more aware of the things that you want to do and take joy from. But more importantly, I find you become more aware of the things that you don't want to do and don't bring you any joy. And I think in the last year and a half for me, this has become very clearly one of the things I not only enjoy, makes that list, and trumps some other things I've come to realize I don't enjoy and don't bring me joy, and they're off. And I also recognize now that it's something I kind of need. It's just, it's like we've already alluded to, that Tuesday is sacrosanct. We need that. I need that anyway. And I'm really excited for what the next bound is.
Yeah.
So yeah, what have I learned? I've learned to take stock of what brings me joy and to invest in it and to let a few other things go. And that's all a result of being in the band over the last year and a half.
Well said, sir. And I absolutely can relate to all of it, for sure. And coming from somebody who's had it taken away at one point, yeah, it's you would adapt and endure, but a piece of you is like gone. And then you find it again, like we were talking earlier. It's just like, and now it's just like, I forgot how much I love it.
Yep.
It's true.
Yeah.
Ian.
Yeah, I again, not to keep parroting my my learned colleague over here, but I would agree with that, and I think we talked about this maybe a little bit last time we were in as well. Is that like this is a gift as well, like the ability to be able to do this. You know, I mean, we will try to keep going as long as humanly possible. But you also, you do kind of recognize that things are also finite too. So that when you find things that bring that camaraderie, that creativity, that joy, I think it's really, really important to tap into that type of stuff. And that's what keeps us going. Like it's just a fun, interesting thing to do.
Yeah, it's awesome. I always had a funny moment the other night. I was on stage and I at the Dom. I had a show. My band had a show at the Dom, and I said in between one of the songs, I said, "It's so great to be back on stage. I'm not going to leave again. I want to be one of those bands that's around so long people go, are these fucking old guys still playing?" And someone yells, "You already are!" I was like, "Ah." Anyway, it's pretty funny though.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's true though, right? It's just
Goat,
like,
the Eagles of Ottawa.
yeah, like I had that hiatus, but I kept it going, but I did miss it. But those are like wise words, and anyone who's listening to this who is in a band, maybe a band that aren't getting along, or even a band that's starting out, take those words from some seasoned veterans, and apply them to your daily. So, and you never know, you'd be as successful as Class of '91. God willing. Anyway, you may have already answered this question with many of the things you were saying, but I think I'm going to ask it anyway, just in case. Being in a band is not always easy. Do you all still get along? And do you all still have the same goals?
Yeah, I think the short answer and the to the first part of the question is yes. Like again, like we rarely we have constructive conversations about things. Like if we're trying to like workshop something or maybe try to plan something. it's always amicable. So I've never once gone, oh,
Yeah.
this is maybe starting to bend under its own weight. And I'm saying that with 100% sincerity. The second part of your question, which was, if you could just remind me, because I'm getting old and I forget
Do you
things.
all still have the same goals?
I would say yes.
Well, again, I think we discuss and establish them
Yeah.
annually, so we know kind of what we're committing to. So, for example, we'll be playing other shows in other cities in the future. That is a byproduct of having sat down and said, "Hey, what do we want to achieve for this year?" So, I think by taking it 1 year at a time,
Yeah.
the commitments are being made, and then the calendars are being coordinated,
Yeah.
and discussed,
And I think part of those conversations are also, okay, like what are things that we are not, right? Like what are things that we are like not really like, maybe gunning towards, right? Like
Like, no one's going solo?
no one's going solo. Like, we're not, we don't have any ambitions to maybe take on things that are bigger than we can chew, just because of life responsibilities and that type of thing there too, right? So
Yep.
So it's not like, it's like, oh yeah, like I know we're gonna do like this and this and this and this, and everyone else is like, like how is that gonna work?
Right.
No, so I think yeah, again, like we just have those honest conversations. But even like reflecting on the past year, working on this album, I mean, Brock, largely championed the idea of like, let's go into the studio, let's go into Little Bullhorn, and let's work at. When we can, it often conflicts with our rehearsal time there, but our friend Shane that runs the Wellington Gastropub has a record club once a month. So we were there. I don't remember what albums we were listening to that night, but Dave was there. Shane kind of like, I mean, Brock obviously and Dave had a relationship, but Shane kind of facilitated a bit of an introduction that led to a conversation, and then we popped over to Little Bullhorn there. So just to have, sort of I could see it, and that just kind of evolved into okay, like this is kind of an interesting path to go down.
Yeah, that was just being open to opportunity. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I ever came in and said, "Hey, we should
do this.
do this at Little Bullhorn." It was more along the lines of, "Hey, Dave's offered us a chance to take a look at the studio. Do we want to have a look?"
Yeah.
And then I think the band collectively got kind of excited.
Excited
I know.
by it, yeah.
I think, and I don't want to put words in Steve's mouth. He's not here, but if I recall, he seemed excited not to be behind the board for the first
For
time,
sure.
and to let the process play out, that he could enjoy it. And I think that was
Yeah.
probably a wonderful experience for him.
Yeah, I think recording yourself, sometimes you can be your own worst enemy too, right? It's just do it again, try it again. This is I can do that better because
Yeah.
you have the freedom to do it. Like you said, there's only this much tape left. Let's nail it.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I
and
think it works out. I think it works out well, and it's good experiences and just something different to challenge the band.
No, for sure. And I think
Yeah.
we just really we walked away from that experience. Like I seem to recall, like when we were there in December, when we were sort of packing up and wrapping things up from the session, I said to Dave, I said, like, this was actually really, really good for the soul. Just because everything about the experience, like the environment, it's like it's cozy, it's inviting. Again, like just
Atmosphere.
just
vibe.
having like having sort of access and exposure to a bunch of equipment that we wouldn't normally have the opportunity to play with.
Well,
So-
the other thing too was, I mean, we've always recorded our albums previously on a Tuesday night or maybe a subsequent Wednesday or Thursday, but we actually went in for the weekend.
yeah.
Oh.
The band together for a weekend with all of their obligations kind of caged.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we were able to just be that band in the studio for 2.5 days. And that in itself was really,
Yeah.
really soul filling.
Yeah.
To stay on.
It's true.
Yeah.
Even in days in the studio, even the boredom's fun, kind of.
Yeah.
Sitting there on the couch, like, waiting for.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's just kind of freestyle and say, let's talk about some really great show memories you have over the last year.
Do the Hamilton one.
Yeah, Hamilton. Yeah, I keep going back to Hamilton. It was we played Hamilton. You alluded to it. We were on our little 3-day junket there, Toronto, Hamilton, and it was
It was Hamilton, Guelph, and
Brantford.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So Toronto wasn't a part of that one. we had to get through Toronto to get there. That was that was it. Hamilton. It was during one of the heat waves. It was a scorcher. We played at Two Doors Taco. How was it? Two Doors?
No, it was Doors Pub and Taco Metal Bar, whatever.
Which was super cool. Total DIY space upstairs, sweltering hot. We played to 4 people.
Nice.
And the other 2 bands were amazing. The energy was just so alive. It was electric. We poured our souls into that show, and I think 4 people really enjoyed themselves, and 3 bands.
Yeah,
and it was stellar. I loved every second
We
of
clocked the temperature inside. It was 35 degrees.
Wow.
No AC, no fans, nothing. It was just absolutely brutal.
Yeah, we were a wreck.
And it's funny because we often joke, is like, if you were to play in front of 4 people in Ottawa, that would be humiliating. Playing in front of 4 people in a town that you're not from, that are hearing you for the first time, and they're completely digging it. That was, I don't know, there's something that we just always go back to that show. It was a lot of fun.
So you got to get back to Hamilton sooner than later, and those 4 people, there may be 8 people because
Exactly.
they brought their friends.
Exactly.
There we go.
Gotta check this band out, right? So that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
Fuck, those are fun sometimes. Sometimes you play you play for the other bands,
Yep.
or then the bartender.
Yeah.
You know, but those are the ones, and they say you got to play, you got to sell it. You know, you just got to give her. Who cares who's
Absolutely.
in the crowd? You
Yep.
know what I mean? You never knows. You never knew the bartender knows or something. Anyway. Any other stories? Any other fun ones?
Yeah. We played Supermarket in Toronto last November, and that was a real blast. Then there was Devin from Alley Beers and Fifth happened to be in Toronto.
Oh, really?
He texted. He's like, "What are you guys going on?" Like this, right? He shows up, which was really, really cool. Yeah, and we just had like there were some friends and family that were just happened to be in town, so it was a really, really cool night. The guy that was doing sound actually recorded it and gave us the stems off the board.
Nice.
So we actually just whipped it together and threw a few of the tracks up on our Bandcamp there.
Cool,
Just,
cool.
But that was a really, really cool cool space. Really random collection of bands on the bill, but it was a really, really fun night. Yeah.
Well, you never know what you're gonna get, right? Out of town, you just kind of hope for the best, and I don't know. Good memories.
Yep.
Good shows.
Yep.
Good times with the guys.
Yep.
What more can you ask for? Now that you are a seasoned band here in Ottawa, what advice would you give new bands trying to navigate the Ottawa music scene?
Yeah, I mean, basic lessons that we learned is showing up as much as you can. I mean, and sometimes that's difficult. I mean, again, like just with scheduling and life. But I mean, that's how we got to know the vast majority of the people that we've become, very, very friendly and well acquainted with on the scene, was just by going to shows, not being afraid to walk up to people and saying hi, like, this is Brock and my name's Ian and we play in a band you've never heard of called Class 91, and just start to make those connections. And with the passage of time there too, like, I mean, we've developed really, really good working relationships with, like if you look at say someone like John from Live on Elgin, for example, we don't have very much difficulty getting a show arranged there, because again, we've developed that relationship. We've treated that venue with respect. We've tried to put on a good bill together, build that trust up as well. I think a lot of it just really comes down to like interpersonal and just human dynamics, right?
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I've been at shows where you're setting up and stuff, and one band just kind of sits in the corner by themselves, right? And it's just like, it's an opportunity lost.
Yep.
Or you can, I always go up to the bands and be like, hey, what's up going on? Sound check and bringing in gear. You need a hand, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And by the end of the night, you're shooting the shit with them, and they're there, and then you take the picture at the end, whatever. I just played with a band called the Infectors. You know the Infectors in town?
By name, but I have not had the opportunity.
Yeah. This guy, his name, the lead singer of the Infectors, he's been in a bunch of other bands, and he's kind of a bigger dude, and he just comes up to me and he's like, my name's Hawkeye.
I love it.
and we're like, oh, hey man, how's it going? He's like, well, my name's Chris, but my real last name is Hawkeye. Call me Hawkeye. So the whole night we're like, hey, what's up, Hawkeye? You know what I mean?
That's amazing.
And it was just such a great ice-breaking moment, right?
Yeah.
And I kept in touch with him. I called him. I texted him the next day. You want to be on the podcast? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Signs off. He wrote blah, 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 blah. Signs off. Hawkeye. I was like,
Wicked.
lucky fucking bastard.
I love it.
Anyway. Okay. So I got 2 more questions. But I'm going to save them right to the end. At this stage of the game, you must have a slew of people to thank. Is there anybody you want to thank? Are there people that you want to shout out to now that you've put in so much more time?
Yeah, I mean, without naming individual bands, I mean, you all know who you are. But again, just massive shout out to everyone on the local music scene. Like I say, not everyone we've had the opportunity to play with, and we would love to. But again, just going back to just developing those relationships and those friendships. Yeah, and I think with regard to the current project, I mean, big shout out to Dave.
Yep.
We actually brought in one of Steve's friends, Todd Duckworth, actually plays violin on a couple of songs on the new project.
That's
there.
different.
So
Yeah.
That's been a really interesting.
Steve wasn't playing his trumpet?
No trumpet this
Okay,
time.
all right.
The trumpet's still packed away there. So yeah, it was a real treat to have him in the studio with us. Again, Christian Montano for mastering. I don't know, Brock, did you have anyone that you wanted to?
Yeah, I mean, I always, obviously, family for,
Yep.
letting us do this without mocking us too much or anything.
Yeah.
But you know what? We know who I'm really grateful for, the people that just take an interest in what we're doing, ask questions. Hey, when's your next show? Or, hey, you got vinyl coming out? Or, and downtown Ottawa is not at, 10 o'clock at night. It's not for everybody. I get it. But just very grateful for anybody who takes an interest, asks a question, and is maybe just tracking the progress of the band, whether it's your jam or not. Very grateful for that.
Awesome. 2026, what lies ahead the next year for Class of 91?
Yeah, so we're in the very nascent stages of starting to map out some show planning. Obviously, with this release coming out, we want to be able to get it in front of some live ears as much as we can there. So we're starting to kind of do the arithmetic of using that old band calendar there to sort of chop things together. Yeah, so we're gonna take that as it comes there too, and yeah, I mean, like this has been a pretty big time-consuming project, like any type of release is. I mean, there's a lot of little moving pieces that go into it. So. Yeah, I think we're gonna sort of the center of gravity for the coming year is going to be on live performance.
Yeah, I mean, I we haven't talked about this, but one of the things we as a band tend to do after a big push like this is one of our first efforts back in our studio is to actually play our catalog. Just go through all the songs again, refresh, because I mean, Eyes on Fire was acoustically heavy. Lost Stories was a little bit more aggressive, and you're going to get some new sounds on this new album. So, I'm hoping the conversation will be had with the band that we can sort of bring some of the old back to the foreground, because much of this year has been dedicated to the new stuff.
Yeah, that tends to happen, right? Because it's new and the shiny one, so you want to play that, and some of the deep cuts kind of get forgotten sometimes.
Yeah, but some of those deep cuts are still they're fan favorites too. I mean, there's still stuff off of Eyes on Fire, which they tend to land on set lists most of the time, just because there's some years out there like I really like that song. I really want you to play it.
Yeah. The beauty of it too is all 4 original members, right from the beginning. So it's a little bit of a learn to remember how to do it, but it's not like trying to teach somebody a back catalog.
Yeah.
So you're ahead of the game there, right?
And we've done this a few times in the past calendar year, even too, where we'll have like kind of like just a regular Tuesday night get together. We're not really rehearsing for anything in particular, and then people will just call out a song, just no particular order. It's just like, okay, like
give it a go.
It's amazing how much muscle memory is there, because even Eyes on Fire turned 5 this week.
Yeah,
which means we wrote that probably a year and a half to 2 years leading up to that. So I don't know where that time went.
Well, you're the last bit of tape, guys. You know what I mean? You work good under pressure. Apparently you do. Looking forward to 2026. I'm looking forward to listening to the whole record when it comes out. I got a couple more questions for you. Class of 91, the movie. Who would you want you to play? Who would you want to play you? Brock.
So, I get compared to a lot of people today. I don't know if this individual will listen to the podcast, but today somebody came in and said, "Man, you look like Steven Spielberg."
A little bit. Holy shit, yeah, kind of. That's not a bad one, eh?
If today is has any influence on who's playing me in the Class of 91 show, it's going to be Steven Spielberg.
Or he'll direct the movie.
Or he'll direct the movie.
Very good. Either one, it's a win, I think. Yeah.
I am wearing my beard today, right?
Yeah.
So, that's right.
And the glasses there, yeah. Yeah, I get and it gets the red beard for me. I get the Ewan McGregor thing all the time there.
That'll work too. Yeah, that works. Awesome.
You must learn to control your emotions, young Brock.
That's right. Steven Spielberg, that was great though. It was just like, you're right. And the very last question for each of you to answer: describe Class of 91 in one word.
Fulfilling.
Fun.
All right, that's it, guys. Did you have anything that you forgot to say? Anything that you wanted to sign off with?
No, I mean just the usual plugs there. We're on the internet at co91band.com. Social media at co91band.
October 18th at the Dom, the record release. Everyone go. It's going to be a great show.
Yep.
And big things for Class 91, and we'll see you on the 2 year later series.
Sounds good. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Mike.
No problem. It's been a pleasure, guys. It's been great talking to you again. And keep going. Good luck with everything.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Move our minds out.
I'd really like to thank Brock and Ian for coming back to Ego and Vice podcast, back to Southwood Studio, and updating us on everything that is Class of 91. Again, check them out at the Dom, October 18th, for the album release party. It should be really, really good. If you need to get a hold of me, you can always reach me at egoandvice@gmail.com. If you need to check out the podcasts, I say that plural now, go to egoandvicepodcast.com. There you'll get caught up with the original Ego and Vice, Mike and Vic's Southeast Stories, the 1 Year Later series, and the Southwood Stereo. If you want your song or your band to be showcased on Ego and Vice, just drop me a line, and we'll make it happen. Anyway, thanks so much, and we will see you next time.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.